right, welcome everybody. Sunday nights with Global Strangeness. Three strangers who came together with a love of spooky, creepy, and downright disturbing stuff around the world. Myself, Deborah, Scott, and Jeremy. And this week was Jeremy's pick. This is, I think, his true soulmate in the world. We're talking about Bigfoot. And guys, this is so nostalgic for me because as a kid, every single year we went to BC on holidays, and my dad always, would talk about Bigfoot, and whoever, could see the Sasquatch, would get money or whatever. He'd like make a game out of it. And I just have all these memories of like staring so hard into the mountains and, I was going to be the one to find them or whatever. I spent so much time. So I love Bigfoot. So anyways, I guess for anyone who doesn't know, and I really do, totally. What is that?
Somebody's birthday tomorrow.
Jerk.
Yeah, well, you got me on my birthday. So happy birthday, Deborah.
Aw, well, thank you.
Happy birthday, Deborah.
Oh, I thank you. So anywho, for anyone who doesn't know what Bigfoot is, and I'm sure there's not very many people who has not heard of Bigfoot, that's crazy, but just in case, Bigfoot is a large, hairy, human-like creature believed by some people to exist in the United States, northwestern United States, and Canada, and it's basically the North American counterpart of the Himalayan abominable snowman or Yeti. I always have trouble saying that. Anyways, and he's described as a, sort of a primate human mix, and anywhere from 6 feet to 15 feet tall. So that's pretty flippin' big. I've never heard of the 15 feet one. It's usually about 8 feet. I always hear
them either.
No, I mean they can be anywhere from like 3 feet to 8 feet, depending on how old they are. But
what's the one that's the Hobbit people? What are they called? Florensis or some shit?
I believe they're called Sam and Frodo, but
okay.
But
anyway.
no, they're called shit. I mean, I'm not sure what the fuck. I should know this. Wait a minute, aren't they called the Rang Pendex?
Yeah, there you go, a Rang Pendex. I don't know. We're fucking.
They're basically Hobbit Bigfoots, but yeah.
That's the little tiny ones. Okay, that's cute.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, well, anyways, so yeah, 6 feet to 15. I've never heard of 15, but anyways, that's what this site said. He smells purdy, according to a lot of people who've encountered him. Which makes me think of, do you remember those commercials of messing with Bigfoot commercials?
Yep.
Those are hilarious. Love those. But anyways, and he moves really silently for a great big thing, but he's been known to emit high-pitched cries, and he likes to throw rocks and things. So he can go undetected, obviously, because sightings are so rare, considering how many, how long he's been around. But if he wants to be known, he can screech and he can throw stuff and make himself very known. So there's been footprints, a lot more footprints found versus actual sightings or videos or pictures, and footprints measure up to 24 inches long and 8 inches wide. So that's, well, you know what they say about big feet. Anyways, some people think he's reminiscent.
Yes, I do, Deborah. Yes, I do. Big socks. So yeah, anyways, and so as far as history goes, some people, so it depends, but some people say the British explorer David Thompson, he's sometimes credited with the first discovery in 1811 of a set of Sasquatch prints. I couldn't verify that though, and it just said he's sometimes credited with that. Yeah. Anyways, so then I went into a little bit of the history. So obviously, most Bigfoot sightings occur in the Northwest, and it's often linked to indigenous myths and legends. The word Sasquatch is derived from Saskets, It's a language used by some Salish First Nations people, and it actually means wild man or hairy man. So pretty graphic of what he looks like. And this is saying as early as 1884 British colonist newspaper in Victoria. Canada published an account of a gorilla-type creature captured in the area. And other accounts largely decried as hoaxes. Sasquatch book author John Green. Are any of you doing him?
I'm not. No, I got.
Okay, well,
I got some
not,
pretty niche shit going on.
Yeah, okay.
I try to stay with since this is only Bigfoot part 1 for us technically, because we're going to be touching on them again at some point. I stuck with classic stuff.
Okay, well, anyways, this guy, he compiled a list of 1,340 sightings through the 19th and 20th centuries. But most of the modern Bigfoot myth, it gained really a new life in the 1950s. So in 1958, the Humboldt Times, a local newspaper in Northern California, published a story about the discovery of this giant mysterious footprints near Bluff Creek, California.
Are you talking about Ray Wallace at all?
About Ray Wallace?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
I don't think so. I don't know, like, so this is just about this newspaper, or this newspaper that they referred to this creature. And so they found these footprints near Bluff Creek or whatever, and they referred to the creature that made them as Bigfoot. And so Bigfoot curiosity grew rapidly. So I guess the guy who wrote the story just saw as kind of like nothing, little fluff story, but it really gained traction. Like people were super interested in this, and it kind of blew up. So Bigfoot curiosity grew rapidly during the second half of the 20th century, and after an article in True magazine published in December 1959 describing the 1958 discovery, and the footprints near Bluff Creek were a prank. Oh, that is Ray Wallace. That's that guy. Okay. That's his, wow. His footprints. And yeah, his kids revealed after he died it was just a big hoax. But by that time, Bigfoot was really firmly established in popular culture across the continent. So that's what blew it up. Was a bullshit story, I guess.
Yeah. No, I got a little bit more on Ray Wallace there.
Yeah, I know it goes into detail, and I don't know if any of you guys are covering the FBI, the guy that there was a sighting and some guy sent hair to the FBI, and 40 years later they actually got back to him. I don't know if you. It's kind of interesting. Oh, no, yeah, no. Yeah,
I don't think I got anything on that.
Yeah, so this guy was like a Bigfoot investigator or whatever, and he went to see this witness had this whole encounter, and he had a tuft of hair. And so he sent it to the FBI, a letter and all this stuff. And after 40 years, they got back that they had done all the testing and that it was deer hair. So I thought that was kind of funny. But anyways, there's been more than 10,000 eyewitness accounts of Bigfoot in the US in the last 50 years. And he's usually described as being 8 to 10 feet. So this is more accurate, I think, 8 to 10 feet and, covered in hair. And it's always reports, it's sightings, eyewitness accounts, very few photos. There's some photos, famous ones, videos, hoax or not. It's really debatable. Lots of footprints, but again, are they hoaxes or not? Most of the stuff is just eyewitness accounts, right? So that's about it for the history. And then I just went over a couple different things. So first of all, in Whitehorse, and I picked Whitehorse number one because I used to live there and I love it up there. It's a very rugged territory, and I could see a Bigfoot living there and getting away, not being seen. But this was also a new kind of account. So this guy, Red Grossinger, he got really into Bigfoot. He had an encounter. So he went on a fly fishing trip on the Taquini River in 1997. And that's where he encountered a two-legged furry figure about 15 meters away. And it seemed to be playing hide and seek with him. It was kind of toying with him, and it would come up for a few seconds and then disappear. And that kept going on for a good 10 minutes before he walked away. So that's the pictures I sent you, Scott. The first two
which
pictures.
One did you want me to pull up first? Just him off in the distance? Yeah,
so that's a photo that apparently this guy took. So he mentioned it to some friends from Teslin, and they were like, well, that's Bushman. They call Bigfoot Bushman or Sasquatch. So anyways, yeah, that's his picture. He was driving along and he saw him, and his first encounter, the Sasquatch was just coming back and forth and kind of toying with him, and then walked away. And then he saw him again from a car. And so this photo, yeah, it just got him really going. And so he started interviewing other people on Bigfoot. He got really involved in this, and he's actually published a book now about it. And so this man in his 60s told Grossingerry he was driving in Crestview, Yukon along Azure Road, and this is where he saw a Sasquatch, and he noticed something in the ditch on the right-hand side, so he slowed his car down to a crawling speed, and he noticed there was a Sasquatch walking in the manner that you describe a man on a mission. So he was walking with real purpose. And this is what I thought, this is the weirdest thing, and Jeremy, you've probably heard this before, but anyways, this man was about 8 feet away from a Sasquatch for about 90 meters. The creature did not pay attention to him at all. Most of the guys took this author to the place where their experience occurred. And at one point, though, this old guy said that the Sasquatch became somewhat translucent, and he could almost see through it, but not quite. Have you ever heard that? And then a few seconds later, nothing, and then it actually disappeared right in front of his eyes. Like I've never heard of Sasquatch.
Yeah, yes.
He's an alien too, right? Some people think he's an alien.
There are multiple. Okay, we need to get into this because it's the first time we're talking about Sasquatch. We need to talk about origin ideas, and there are 3 main origin ideas I've heard for Sasquatch. The first one is that it's Gigantopithecus. It's been here since we were cavemen, and they thought it was killed out by humans, but the theory is that maybe some of them said humans are bad, we go this way, they go that way. So, and
that one actually, didn't they find out recently that was as soon as like 10,000 years ago now?
Yeah,
like
it was
used to think it was hundreds of thousands of years, but now they've proven that it was only like 10,000 years.
I mean that theory right there is just, it's the most logical one in my opinion. But the other 2 theories, and I'm gonna go by order of logic. The next theory is that Bigfoot is some kind of alien species. And as I've said on my show multiple times, it's my theory that Earth is a prison planet where an intergalactic council of sorts, a UN of space, put species they think are dangerous or that they didn't want to deal with on Earth as a prison planet, and that's why we have Bigfoot and other cryptids, and the UFOs we see in the sky are basically prison wardens watching over the prisoners. And that's why
that's logical.
And that's why Bigfoot and aliens are seen in the same. You see UFOs and Bigfoots in the same area a lot of times as well. So that's my theory. I've said in my show in a lot more detail. It's I literally have blown people's mind with this theory. Like they're sitting there with their mouths open for like 5 minutes. Like what? Like that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. And I don't know if I heard that theory somewhere before I started saying it, but I kind of think I made most of it like in my head, literally. But the third theory, and this one was first brought to my attention by Lon Strickler, who was on my show. He's from Phantoms and Monsters Radio. He's a paranormal investigator out of Pennsylvania. And he's researched thousands of cases of different everything from Bigfoot to dogmen to spirits, ghosts, shadow people, you name it, he's investigated it. But he's along the mindset that Bigfoot and dogmen and other cryptids are ultra-terrestrials, which means they live in different dimensions and they cross over here to either look for food or for various reasons. They cross over to Earth, and then when they're seen, they run off to somewhere they could just kind of vanish out of sight again, and they cross back over to their dimension. So it is believed by a lot of people that Bigfoot is ultra-terrestrial. These are the same people who believe that aliens don't travel through space, they travel through dimensions.
Which I think I could get behind a little bit more than the...
That's what I think too. That's what makes the most sense to me. So we're a big prison, eh, Jeremy? That's disturbing. We got the inmates.
Well, what if the human race is a race they didn't want to deal with, so they put us on a planet?
Oh, maybe we're the scary ones.
Well, I mean, if that's not the truest thing I ever heard, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
God,
Maybe
the
y'all have a
punishment is
cool
having to
Bane
live with
story.
us and not get killed. That makes sense. Like,
I mean,
Ew.
what's it raining right now in part of the United States? Like some kind of toxic sludge we created?
Well, that's the government.
right.
So
The government is us, Scott.
But it's human. Yeah. No,
We're all-
that
they are
Can you
obviously
imagine?
reptilians, Jeremy.
obviously.
that's hilarious. So we're the punishment for other dimensions. They send them to us, and if they can survive 10 years of us, their time is up and they get out on good behavior. That's that's something to think about. Doesn't put us in a good light. Well, anyways, this guy, he interviewed tons and tons of people, and he documented 3 other occasions where Sasquatch disappeared right in front of people. So I just thought that was interesting because I had not really ever heard of that. And those frequent reports of sightings he's heard about come from the Teslin area, so kind of all together in the same area. And he wrote a book called Nagani Northern Tales of Sasquatch, if anybody wants to read that. And then I was really excited because there's a site and it's really good. You guys should check it out after this. And it's called SasquatchAlberta.com. So Alberta is my province where I live.
Mhm.
And it's good. It's got a lot of stuff on there. It's documentaries and it's got all these. So I just picked a couple of the first-hand encounters that they had on there. So
Did you want me to show that guy's feet print?
oh, it
thing?
doesn't matter.
Was that
I'm-
connected? Well, here,
They all look the same, anyways. All the
there we go.
prints and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that was from this author. That was his feet prints. So what do you think? It looks. Do you think that could, like, I don't know.
Damn it, people are catching me going through the woods again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be easy to fake.
Would it though?
Dude, I made stepping stones out of
Yeah.
concrete once that like would do the same shit. So
Right. Like you could buy them for your garden, right? Like the
I mean,
ones, I
Yeah.
don't know.
people
Could
do
you just
fake.
make with that.
There's been plenty of hoaxers that have done it, but
Yeah.
any real Bigfoot investigator, I mean, if you get Lauren Coleman out there looking at these or at the cast of them, then he's going to tell you right away, like either they're fake or real. Like he knows, like he could tell by looking at them because he's been looking at them for 50 years.
yeah, but then like this one, do you see how you've got your foot palm and then the 5
I mean
phalanges
that one looks fake.
fingers
It does.
like or thumbs like that?
I mean,
Yeah.
one that looks fake because it's just there's on the ones I've seen that look real. There's no space between the toes and the freaking
Yeah.
foot. Like it's all
At
one
least a
footprint.
Right.
a light impression. But this is just like straight up
And I never known and I mean, apparently that
like that.
apparently that Bigfoot forgot to cut his toenail a little bit on the second one.
That's what I was looking at. I'm like, yeah, Bigfoot, use some clippers and deodorant apparently.
And come on, like
That looks
you
silly.
gotta ask yourself the real question, right? Bigfoot, he's using tools at this point. He's always seen with like a club or using rock tools. He didn't come up with shoes yet.
No.
I'm just
Dude.
saying.
Dude, I know humans. I know humans that never wear shoes unless they have to. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean all of them.
No,
I
I
think
mean,
somebody wrapped some deer hide around their feet at least once.
or I
But
mean,
if you're always barefoot, your bottoms, your feet are like leather, right? You don't need that. Like humans, there are humans or what were humans that didn't wear shoes at one time either, running through the trees and stuff. So
Even Cody Lundeen in that hunting or the survival show would wear socks when he was in a snowy environment. Just saying.
well, if you have fur on your feet, you don't need socks.
and he wasn't raised out like he went out to survive on that show, but he wasn't raised out there from
I mean,
birth, always walking barefoot.
That's like people who say like that's like people who think that every dog needs socks. Like dogs are naturally built to walk barefoot.
Dogs need socks. Have you ever seen a dog in socks? It is
Yes.
hilarious.
It's hilarious and it looks stupid. So no, I
All
mean,
dogs need socks.
And
Not my dog. He's only got 3 legs. That would really screw him up, I think. He's already got problems. So yeah, anyway, so that SasquatchAlberta.com, check it out because you guys, it really is good. I was pretty excited about it. So anyways, I just pulled a couple encounters off there.
Before you get going, sorry to interrupt. I got your last image as trail cam. So tell me when you want me to pull that one up.
Whenever, I guess you could do it now.
Okay. Trail cam.
see that? That looks like a suit.
Right?
I've seen trail cam footage of what's supposed to be Bigfoot, and I've seen real looking ones. That looks like a fucking suit.
It looked
Right,
a lot
like-
better on my phone. It like I can't even really see his head in this one.
I mean, I can, but it looks like a
Well,
Bald
and it
man.
looks like a skinny guy in a
Oh,
too
nice.
big suit.
And
Right?
he's like bald on top.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. There's, the photos and whatever. It's hard to
There we
find something that looks really,
Yeah, that could just be a dude wearing a fur coat. A really big dude with big
With
old
claws.
hand feathers.
how do these people keep catching me in the woods? What the fuck? That's my question.
You keep pretending that you don't like to go in the woods and you don't like hiking and stuff, but here we go. There
Hey.
you
Yeah,
are.
all the time.
There
hey,
you
What the
are.
Hey, I actually went on a 2-mile hike the other day through Leominster State Forest in Massachusetts because it's supposedly a Bigfoot area, and I was looking for Bigfoot.
And so where's your photographic evidence? You got
There was no Bigfoot. There was just there was just trees that were knocked down like crazy because of the ice, maybe.
I think that's one thing I did want to talk about, the tree twisting shit. I watched
Yeah.
Les Stroud's show when he was in Utah, and he was talking about how the tree branch broke and twisted in the summertime, so there was no snow load. Like, as a guy who's cut a fuckload of trees down, when branches snap, they all twist, dude.
Oh yeah, I mean, but if the way you could tell if it's a Sasquatch or just natural is there any reason why it should have broke besides just
Oh shit, man. I managed a 70-year-old mobile home park, and those things would fucking snap all the goddamn time. If there's like a lot of rain for a good, 4 or 5 years when the thing's coming up, and then there's not a lot of rain, these branches just sort of hollow out, and then when they do snap it.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Not
spend any
convinced.
time hiking and stuff, you do hear, things snapping and whatever naturally, right? That does happen all the time.
Yeah.
and I will say I did try to do some wood knocks while I was in the wood, like deep in the like a mile into the woods, and I didn't hear anything knocking back at me.
What about, you know how with elk, you can call an elk in with a elk
Mhm.
call?
Bugle.
Yeah, like, is there a Bigfoot one? Has anyone tried? Because they emit a high-pitched shriek thing. I mean, can you
When I
call
was
one
watching
in?
when I was watching the Les Stroud, he actually, I mean, he's fucking rich, right? Survivor man. He got these scent things made up where they took like human pheromones and gorilla pheromones and mixed them together, and you're supposed to be able to like hang those on the tree. But yeah, no, people do try to call them like they'd call geese or something.
Yeah, because, big game, it works, right? But
Yeah.
interesting. Anyways, I was pretty excited because there was one, I don't have it, but there was a sighting near Pigeon Lake, and that's very close to me. I was like, wow, I didn't know there was sightings that close to me. But anyways, there is another one. So this is near southwest of Little Smoky on Simonette Road. So it's just a little detailed, it's a firsthand account. So this happened years ago. So this is the witness talking. This happened years ago. I was driving a gravel truck out past Suncorp gas plant down the Simonette Road. And it was an awesome, clear, sunny day. And I just crossed Shell Creek and started up the hill to the top of the road, turns left, and cuts on both with cut lines on both sides. And as I crested the hill, I noticed something big and dark run up the road. At first I thought it was a bear, but as I got closer, it got bigger, and it took off across the road upright and went down the cut line. Never once did it drop on all fours. So I stopped at the cut line and no sign of it. And I had co-workers come to the spot and help me look for tracks, but the muskeg on the cut line was spongy and just popped back up. And as for the road, it was packed solid from all the oil field traffic, so nothing there. No way it was a bear. It was at least 8 feet tall. So that was pretty cool. And then there's another account, and it's near Morley, Alberta. And so in 1980, our family lived in Morley, Alberta, close to the, and I've been here, I know exactly the bridge she's talking about. So 1980, our family lived in Morley, Alberta, Canada, close to the bridge and the school. We played all through that area on motorbikes and making forts in the woods and exploring near the banks of the Elbow River. My older brother was 14 years old, my sister was about 18 years old, and I was only 10. And we saw a Sasquatch. So I remember watching a tall, big figure traverse the foothill behind what is now the community school. So he's like close in this little community, which is kind of weird. But anyways, what struck me at first, it was very large and moved very fast, although it was not running. The figure was dark against the pale straw colored hill. I knew immediately it was not human. It was upright and moved on 2 feet. I also remember it had a funny shaped head. In my 10-year-old mind, it was as if he balanced a cap on the crown of his head instead of pulling it down onto his head. It's weird, and it was moving away from us. I don't remember my siblings being with me, so I was really happy that they both said they remember the exact same things I do and verified the experience. And they were able to relate more details as their experience a little better because they were older. So my sister relates that he was grayish, had hair all over his body, had the oblong head, no clothes on, and was bipedal and moving quickly. My brother remembers that it was very large, estimating over 8 feet, and again, the oblong head. So we all remember that it was traveling through the same location in the same direction. So they all kind of have the similar memories. I don't remember what day it was or when it happened. It must have been either just approaching winter or coming into spring because the trees were bare. The bush on the hill was, and there was the bush on the hill was bare, and he was moving as if that he was moving on was scarce, and there was no snow, or if there was, it was in significant patches, and we saw him clearly in the daylight. He was not trying to conceal himself in the trees as he ran in the trees that ran along the river, and he did not stop. And none of us remember feeling afraid at all because we all knew what he was. And it just says we didn't ever talk about it because we were not, because we were ashamed and scared. It was as if we had simply seen a moose or something. So common for them. So, and that was by Laura C. And that was in Morley, Alberta in 1980. So anyways, if you go to that site, there's a whole bunch more. Like I said, there's one near Pigeon Creek or Pigeon Lake, which is really close to me.
Yeah, most of the shit I found was in Canada.
Yeah.
And Canada's, you guys have a lot more wide open space than us.
And mountains and heavily treed areas and stuff, right? Which would make sense for a creature like a guy like this to be hanging out in.
Or dog man as we discovered.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Don't go in the wilderness of Canada, people, unless you want to die by dogmen, Bigfoot, or Wendigo.
Or perhaps even watch out for a bear
Frogman
too. Yeah.
We had that one story of Frogman. I don't know what Frogman does when it's fucking cold for 8 months out of the year, but he's there.
That was just Deborah's bad date she talked about last time.
Yeah. So that is it for my sharing of Bigfoot. So
you or me, Scott?
You pick.
I'll go. I might as well talk before I drink more and can't talk.
Okay, let me know, is your video at the front or the back? Because I'm going to have to take a little potty break.
It's going to be in the middle, so if you want to take a potty break, go ahead.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll do a couple, because I am doing the most famous Bigfoot sightings in Canada and North America. But so I try to do a couple.
We're not going to touch it all on the rock apes.
We will be doing Bigfoots around the world, at another time. They have different names in every country in the world. So we
Good
have
save.
we have
Good
plenty of
save.
we have plenty of content for other episodes. But I will start off with a Canadian sighting.
Yeah.
Well, actually, wait a minute. Did you just do William Rowe or no?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so this is one of the most famous sightings, and it occurred on Mika Mountain in British Columbia in 1955, when a man called William Rowe claimed he saw a partly human and partly animal creature while hiking. He swore an affidavit in 1957 that the creature was about 6 feet tall, and for Canadians, that's 1.8 meters, and covered in brown silver-tipped hair, with thick arms reaching down to his knees, broad feet, and breast, according to the Alberta Sasquatch Organization website. He said, "As I watched this creature, I wondered if some movie company was making a film this place, and that what I saw was an actor made it to look partly human and partly animal," as he wrote in his 1957 affidavit. "But as I observed it more, I decided it would be impossible to fake such a specimen. So I went out in a boat to get away from it." I had that last part, but
I don't sound like that.
according to Abominable Science, Origins of the Yeti, Nessie, and Other Famous Cryptids from Columbia University Press in 2013, Rowe's ape-like sighting marks a change from earlier Sasquatch accounts in British Columbia, which repeatedly describe Sasquatch as a giant-sized indigenous person. In other words, it was the birth of modern Bigfoot, though that name wouldn't emerge for another year. Scientists argue that eyewitness testimony isn't always reliable, so this and other sightings are not conclusive evidence. Fuck you, scientists.
What? Right? It's evidence.
And is Senor, yep, okay, he's back. So Scott, we're gonna do this next story, which is short, and then we'll get into the video clip.
Okay, video after the story. Got it. Make
So
sure that's going.
this next, actually, this is one of my favorite Bigfoot legends. Prospector Albert Ostman claimed that he spent around a week with a Bigfoot family near Toba Inlet, British Columbia in 1924. Ostman was camping alone when he says he was scooped up in his sleeping bag by a Papa Bigfoot and taken to meet Mama Bigfoot and 2 Bigfoot children. Ostman was supposed to be held captive by the family, but said he eventually escaped when Papa Bigfoot ate Ostman's chewing tobacco and fell ill.
Okay, I got you. Mine might be a little short.
According to a retelling of the story in anthropologist David Dagling's book, Bigfoot Exposed, an anthropologist examines America's enduring legend, Ostman's descriptions of his captors are similar to that of Rowe's 1957 account. However, Dagling points out in his book that even though Ostman said the encounter took place in 1924, he didn't write it down until 1957 after he heard Rowe's tale, so he may have been inspired or influenced by Rowe. And yes, I've heard this legend before. Supposedly, this guy was literally kidnapped by Bigfoot, and then when the Bigfoot ate his tobacco, he got away a week later. But he ran back to town telling everybody what happened because he was so amazed that he was around a family of them.
He had an affidavit. I'll get into that a little more. There was a newspaper article about it.
Well, that was Rowe, and he had an affidavit, and that was the first story I did. But
Clip time.
right? in 1 second, because I'll give a little backstory first before we show the clip. But the Patterson-Gimlin film, which, as any Bigfoot lover, expert, novice, amateur knows, is the most famous Bigfoot sighting, and it was caught on camera in 1967. It's a minute-long video that appears to show a female Bigfoot, later nicknamed Patty, walking through a clearing in Northern California. It's still often held up by Bigfoot believers as the best piece of evidence for the creature's existence. The scientific community has overwhelmingly dismissed the film as showing a person wearing a costume. Jeffrey Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University, fuck you, and author of Sasquatch Legend Meets Science, is one of the few scientists to publicly back the film and the existence of Bigfoot. Meldrum told Live Science that not only is he convinced the film is real, but believes it grows more credible over time. The creature's walk was criticized in the 60s for being too human, but Meldrum argues that subsequent scientific discoveries such as Lucy, an extinct 3.2 million year old human ancestor, and I'm going to butcher this, but Australopithecus afarensis,
You fucking nailed that, dude.
yeah, right. But reveal our ape-like ancestors walked upright, so now there's a scientific justification for the creature's human-like gait. What you see on the film is exactly how we envision something like a robust Australopithecine to look, Meldrum said. It's almost as if now the science has finally caught up to this whole phenomenon of Bigfoot. Meldrum also noted that the anatomical features visible in the film, such as the proportions of the face, match up with early humans such as Paranthropus boisei, a species that lived around 2.3 million years ago to 1.2 million years ago, according to the Smithsonian. The size of the creature in the film is estimated to be around 6 to 7 feet, or 1.8 to 2.1 meters for you Canadians and British people. However, most experts are not convinced by the footage. Darren Naish, a paleozoologist and author of Hunting Monsters, Cryptozoology, and the Reality Behind the Myths, summarized plenty of reasons to question the film's authenticity in a 2020 Twitter thread. Most notably, he highlights that Patterson, who shot the film, had already turned Bigfoot into a money-spinning operation before releasing it. But Nash adds that Patty's pelt appears to glisten and move like that of a real animal, and her muscle movements look genuine, suggesting it's a very good hoax. Fuck you, Nash. Brian Regal, an associate professor of history of science at Keene University in New Jersey and author of Searching for Sasquatch, Crackpots, Eggheads, and Cryptozoology, is more damning of the film and told Live Science that people want to project their own views on the Patty. You look at it and you see what you want to believe, he said. And now, Scott, we can watch.
Before we get into that, you're gonna give me an extra fuck you because Patterson was confirmed buying a monkey suit like a week before this happened. The check he wrote to film this, the dude was a known con man. Check he used to film this footage bounced, and then one of his friends admitted to being the guy in the monkey suit years later.
But his friend who admitted that also came forward later on and said he lied about that, about admitting that.
Of course he did, so he could be on the TV. But there we go. I'm sorry. I'm the jerk, dude. I got to shit on it. You know.
Fuck you, Scott.
That's what I do. And I do it.
Let's
good.
let the viewers. What do you guys think? Let's see this.
Okay.
Thing. See Patty.
Leave it in the comments. Do you think this is a person walking in a monkey suit, swinging his arms really fast, or
Team
an actual
Scott?
Bigfoot?
Team Jeremy. Which one is it?
Okay.
How far away was she when you first saw her?
Just across the creek, about like from here across the creek.
Oop, sorry.
He's so cute.
It's when I first saw her, she was standing upright. I thought, you know, this is unreal. The way it was moving, the massive muscle. Roger had the camera up to his eyes and he stumbled and fell. Where you can see the shakiness part. I rode across the creek. I got off the horse and took my rifle out of the scabbard in case I had to make a shot. She made that turn to look. Kept right on walking.
Movies.
She went on up out of sight up that canyon. All this time I'm thinking, holy mackerels, these things do exist.
I'm about to
Okay.
cash this check from Rocky Mountain Power
Before-
for almost 3.
We shit, I'm gonna have to stop share real quick. Before we go with just that footage, where is my screen share?
And Scott, just so you know, the story I've heard is that yes, Patterson did plan on making a hoax video up there.
And then he
but-
just ran into it.
Yeah,
Okay, it's believable.
and
If my kids told me that, I'd believe them 100%.
I've had people who work in the Hollywood movie industry for over the last 50 years on my podcast. And they say to this day, there is no suit that has the kind of muscle movement that creature had.
I mean,
Okay.
it definitely looks better than that other picture we had, the picture I brought, right? Like, looks like a skinny guy in a suit. So
Any cryptozoologist these days still stands by that film as the best proof we have of a Bigfoot existing.
Okay, well, that was a very shitty version of the video, so we have to show this one.
Oh yeah, if you got the original, then yeah.
Now, Bigfoot, the guy who hides from cameras, I guess this is the woman version of Bigfoot, huh? Leave it to the women to be. Look at the fucking arm movement, though.
I'd like to see the
Hold
feet.
up.
Like,
Can I zoom in? Nah, I can't zoom in any farther. Watch it backwards. And mind you, the friend that admitted to being in this suit was a big dude.
does it look like feet, like actual feet with a costume at the bottom, or does it look like real
You
feet?
can see the feet right there. Hold up. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they're actually attached to the creature, like they're not like somebody wearing shoes or anything.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see.
But and as far as them hiding from cameras, Scott, people weren't bringing cameras into the wilderness that often back then.
I don't know what this is. I just accidentally clicked on this.
Part 2, apparently.
So what do you?
But
I obviously Jeremy thinks this is 100% real.
I have for the last 25 years of my life.
Well, that's good.
I gotta go with it. It looks better. I mean, it's 10,000 times better than any other pictures or footage you see, right?
I mean, I've seen some trail cam footage that looks very convincing.
I saw some trail cam footage, but it looked like a weird. There's bears in it as well, and it looked like a weird. I don't know. It looked different than Bigfoot, anyways.
Well,
You know-
I mean, according to cryptozoologists I've talked to who are expert in Bigfoot, there's different, same as dogmen, there's different types of Bigfoot, there's different type of dogmen, there's different subspecies.
Oh, I guess that makes sense because it kind of had a skinnier body, long
I mean-
arms. It was like, yeah, it was different looking.
This
Same as
story,
same as humans evolve, why wouldn't Bigfoot?
this story reminds me of there was this kid once, and he tried to steal his father-in-law's wealth that he had buried, and then he actually tried to sell snake oil, and then he created the Mormon religion. His name was Joseph Smith.
Dum da dum
And
dum.
it's about the same story as Patterson. So,
Scott, have you ever
just
seen
saying,
the episode of South Park where they make fun of Mormons?
I think you should become a Mormon if you like this video.
One wife is enough. I don't need 7.
The thing about Bigfoot is,
Seven
like, and I
headers.
couldn't find any, but I remember watching the show and they had like, eyewitness people, and there's a lot of credible people that have seen. I remember one was like, it was a park ranger.
Oh, there.
It was
no.
very credible, and there was another was a police officer, and there's a Bigfoot running up, and multiple people saw him running along the side of the road. Multiple people, but it was a police officer. So there was a kooky lady who thought she had a love affair. There was one of those in this documentary, but there was a lot of legitimately credible people that swear that's what they've seen.
I'm telling you, if you want to know more about Bigfoot, watch Small Town Monsters documentaries. They did 3 different Bigfoot documentaries, and they have a Beyond the Trail YouTube series where they go looking for Bigfoot in a lot of different areas of the country and I think Canada too, maybe. But I'm telling you, there are Bigfoot recorded all over the world with different names. They all look different.
I'm not saying that I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Then the next time there's
video is
the next time
nonsense.
the next time there's a pandemic, they ain't gonna be saying UFOs. They're gonna be saying Bigfoot's real.
Yeah, probably. They're trying to cover up all sorts of train disasters.
Well, actually,
There'll be much more.
Actually, I heard someone posted on Facebook the other day that I'm friends with, kind of. I mean, I have a lot of followers, but they said they actually have it under a reliable source that the next thing the government's admit to is dogmen.
I think I mean, I would put some money on that wager. I don't think the government's there yet. Dogmen?
No, because they're having a hard time covering it up anymore.
Oh, okay. Believer aspect. I was gonna say, like, I think it would be easier for the government to come out and say Hillary Clinton is a reptilian than it would that Dogman exists. I think there would be more people that bought into the Hillary Clinton story than the Dogman story.
You mean Hill Dog? Not Hill Dog. But let me get to the next story I have, because it's my second favorite story about Bigfoot. And this took place in 1924. And it is called the Ape Canyon Incident. A group of gold prospectors claim they defend their cabin against multiple guerrilla men in a gorge later named Ape Canyon on the side of Mount St. Helens. One of the miners, Fred Beck, allegedly shot at Sasquatch during the day, which prompted a gang of its hairy brethren to seek revenge come nightfall. The creatures are said to have pelted the miner's cabin with rocks and boulders, and one even reached an arm inside. The miners survived the onslaught, and as the sun rose, the beasts retreated back into the woods, possibly after Beck shot one. Beck returned to the scene with U.S. Forest Service rangers after news broke of the attack. The rangers couldn't find a Sasquatch body and apparently weren't impressed with the large stones they found next to the cabin, or the supposed giant footprints nearby, the local Oregonian newspaper reported at the time. The rangers seemed to think that the miners placed stones there themselves and that the footprints were made by a human hand. One popular explanation for the Ape Canyon story reported by skeptics, other than the miners simply making it up, is that the miners were actually set upon by a gang of local youths throwing rocks at the cabin for fun, according to the travel website Atlas Obscura. Although this doesn't account for all aspects of the story, Scott Tompkins, a data manager and founder of the Bigfoot Mapping Project, a website that hosts around 8,000 historical and modern Bigfoot sightings, told Live Science that most Bigfoot sightings he's mapped don't end in conflict. When people describe the behavior of such creatures, they seem to be very curious but non-confrontational. Now, what that story doesn't tell you about the incident is earlier that day, supposedly one of them shot a Bigfoot and killed it. And that's what provoked the attack. And I've heard about this.
But where'd the dead body go?
That's the mystery with all Bigfoots, because I've heard other stories too about hunters that, I mean, on Monsters Among Us, a podcast where people call in their stories about cryptids and aliens and ghosts and everything else. An older man in his, guessing 60 to 80s, called in a story when the show first started about how he shot a Bigfoot. He went home, he buried it supposedly in the woods because he didn't want to get in trouble because he thought it was human. And he went home, and then one of his friends was like, "You could be rich." So he went back to dig it up, and the body was gone.
This is my whole problem with the... Like, I really do want to believe in Bigfoot. I think it could absolutely fucking be possible. But I watch so many hunting videos where these people are fucking 20 miles up a mountain. They have a GoPro mounted to their gun, on their fucking hat, on their chest. Like, I mean, and it's been 10, 15 years of this. Like, not one of them has caught photos. I don't know. That's
Well-
where I become the skeptic.
Well, as far as photos go, that is where the ultra-terrestrial theory comes in. Because if they're from another dimension,
hmm
it's theorized that they mess with cameras. Like, not on purpose, but just they mess with cameras because they're from another dimension, and it makes the cameras mess up. Because of some kind of radiation or something they give off from being from another dimension.
Or we're in some sort of simulation, and it's just like a quick glitch in and out.
But I mean, as far as the bodies go, it's been highly hypothesized that either they bury, either they take care of their own dead bodies.
They take them out. Yeah.
I mean, they probably dug up the body the guy buried, and they did whatever they do with it, whether it be Viking funeral style and they burn it or something, or they just have their own private graveyard somewhere that no one can find, or
They take them into the caves, into the.
Or they
into
eat
the
'em.
that too. It's very possible. Animals eat other dead animals all the time, but or if you want to go with the alien theory, the UFOs come and absorb the body up and take it with them. Or if you want to go with the ultra-terrestrial theory, if they get killed on this plane, their bodies just disintegrate and go back to their plane.
Bingo, that's what I think.
So I mean, every theory has its own answers, kind of, but for that one. But I mean, at the end of the day, if they're just another version of humans, then they take care of their own. They have maybe if we actually get into these cave systems someday, there's a huge burial ground for Bigfoot, way miles deep in these cave systems that where no human has ever been. And maybe if a human has been there, those are the missing 4 and 1, and they don't make it back. So I mean, there's explanations for all of it. If you need to give a little leniency to it, though. I mean, you can't
If you're
just
tweaking long enough, dude, you will find that explanation. I got it. Up
Never
for
done any-
4 days, fucking shit is flying off your head.
never did drug in my life, Scott, besides weed and a few
Oh,
pills.
you're missing out, dude. Come on.
So
I'm
one
not.
thing, Jeremy, though, that story about all of them in the cabin and them throwing rocks and there was boulders, didn't we do a story like that? Sounds really familiar to something we did with either Wendigo or Dogman or something. Like I feel like
Nope.
we've done that almost exact
Nope.
story.
I'm actually going to kind of tie into that with mine.
Well,
Don't you remember us doing a story about something around a cabin and then there was a slat and the guy stuck the gun out? Do you remember this? Well, I'm pretty sure it was Wendigo, wasn't it?
I
Been
don't
drunk
know.
Most episodes.
Yes, but I don't know. But I got 3 more famous sayings that we could do. But oh, actually, is this a clip? I'm kind of curious now. Oh, okay. Scott, I am sending you a YouTube clip. If you want to read the story, if you want to look it up, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll get it. Get it going.
Good.
Here.
I did not realize
Sending
this
it through
story.
Messenger.
Yeah, obviously. I didn't realize this story came with a clip, and it's only 48 seconds. Woohoo! But yeah, so
Oh, shit.
there are many Bigfoot videos. There are many Bigfoot videos on YouTube. But few are as popular as a clip that we'll see in a second from Provo Canyon, Utah. There you go, Scott.
Well,
The
that
video-
was actually one thing I wanted to get into, and I don't know if you've heard about this, Jeremy, but in Utah, they the Bigfoot's actually supposed to be super aggressive, and he has horns, and that reminded me of our Wendigo episode. Have you
Well-
heard a lot about that? Like, I was watching a bunch of shit on it this morning.
I've heard of aggressive Bigfoots, but horns, that's a new one.
Yeah,
But-
no, well, here, hold up a sec.
Well,
There's-
okay.
Actually, a cave painting.
Well, let me get through this first, and you can show it. Okay.
Already got it. There we go.
Ah,
But
all right,
this
well,
is
look.
by all the fucking. This was on Les Stroud's show, and this shows the Bigfoot, and he's got big feet. If you go down
looks-
here,
It looks like the devil. It looks
It
like the
looks
devil.
more like Wendigo to me. Like that looks more like a Wendigo, right?
yeah, no, that's what I was saying. But like, this is native lore for the area, as a Sasquatch, and
Mhm.
it's in between like deer and fucking goats and all the
Well-
other shit.
Put it this way. Supposedly, according to one of my guests, there's a Bigfoot, the Bigfoot in New Jersey's, the Bigfoots in New Jersey have glowing red eyes.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds like Mothman, right?
But, well, that sounds like a lot of cryptids, but I mean, Bigfoots can have different traits if they evolve in different areas because they need those traits to survive. So, I mean, it's possible scientifically, it's very possible. But the video we're about to watch appears to show a large black animal hunched over in the trees, possibly feeding or foraging. The camera zooms in to try to get a closer look, and a few seconds later, the gray creature stands up on two legs as if it's bipedal. This causes the parrot behind the camera to immediately turn and run away. The video was posted October 30th, 2012, and has amassed more than 7.6 million views on YouTube.
Damn, that was smart, dude. The day before Halloween. That was
According
fucking smart.
According to account uploader Beard Card, the pair were on a camping trip hoping to get a closer look at a deer on a hill. On our way up, we thought we saw a bear until the monster stood up and looked right at us. Beard Card wrote in the video description, "We ran straight to the car after that, leaving our tent and everything behind. It's probably still up there."
Ready?
Eric Rickard, curator of the vertebrate zoology at the Natural History Museum of Utah, told Fox 13 News Utah, after a more recent alleged sighting in 2019, that the science didn't support a Bigfoot in the state. "What's the likelihood that there are big animals that have gone undetected by scientists and by trained observers?" Rickard said. "There are lots of things to discover, particularly in the natural world, but they don't take the form of giant apes running around in largely settled areas of the world." So, Scott, if you want to play that video, if you have it ready.
Got it ready. There should be no commercials.
Yeah, can't see it.
It's right by my fishing spot, by the way.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Does he think it's a bear? You think there's a bear up here next to the deer?
I think
Yeah,
that's
we
a
probably
black
should
bear,
get
dude.
close to it, huh? Oh, cool. Though.
We'll see when it stands up. Oh, you fucking
Yeah, that was a
pussies.
fucking black bear.
You fucking pussies.
Hold up.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Scott. That's a bear.
That's a black bear. It's small, even. Like,
Yeah.
look at it over there.
Yeah, we probably should be too close to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like a fucking
Yeah,
black
yeah.
bear.
Ah.
I was gonna see if you could pause it when it stood up, but
Well, let me get. I got.
Does it show it stand up? It looked
Away.
like they just ran away.
Well,
No,
here, you
it-
keep going. I'm gonna see if I can get it.
it stood up.
Yeah.
It stood up right as they turned the camera around and ran away. But this next one is
I'm gonna
interesting.
find it.
This next one's interesting because it's called the High Cliff Skunk Ape. Skunk apes are supposedly swamp dwelling versions of Bigfoot that are rumored to roam the southeastern U.S. On October 28th, 2013, a YouTube account named Josh Highcliffe uploaded one of the most popular skunk ape videos. In it, the cameraman films a potential skunk ape foraging in a Mississippi swamp. It looks like a gorilla squatted down, big broad shoulders, little peaked head, and it's pulling off chunks of wood that seems to demonstrate extreme strength. Then all of a sudden it stands up and it's got these long legs, Meldrum said. Impressed by the video, we get to examine it in detail. The last shot of the creature in the video comes just as it stands up, similar to the video we just watched. Unfortunately, people filming Bigfoot have a tendency to suddenly jerk the camera and run away just as they're about to get a good view of one. No shit. Understandably fearful if the creature exists,
Yeah.
but convenient if they're creating a hoax. This is one of the many reasons why skeptics decry such videos and ask believers to produce the body. But I don't know.
Didn't get a good view, dude. Like right when before the thing stood up, they.
See, and I can understand, yeah, if you have a camera, you're gonna run, you get scared. But wouldn't more trail cams catch them? They'd get good, like they'd
That's what
have
I'm
good
saying,
footage, right?
man.
Like it'd be steady. It's not, you should
and-
be able to catch one, I think.
a lot of hunters have trail cams way out in the woods.
All
'cause
over the
they're trying
place,
to
yeah.
find the
Well-
fucking where the deer are feeding.
Well, here we go. Scott, you're gonna love this one. This one, well, put it this way. In 2008, two men, Rick Dyer and Matthew Witten, claimed to possess a frozen body of a Bigfoot specimen. I remember that story. They said they found it while hiking in the woods in northern Georgia. Their story made headlines, but the body turned out to be in a rubber gorilla suit. Reuters reported at the time Dyer was in the news again in 2012 when he claimed to have shot another Bigfoot in San Antonio, Texas. He took his second Bigfoot on tour in 2014 and charged people to see it before admitting it was a fake, San Antonio Express News reported at the time. Well, there you go, Scott. There's your hoax story.
Cool.
But,
I got a hoax that happens in 2012 too.
well,
It's very depressing.
I got one last story, and this one is straight from memory because it's the most famous call ever to come into Monsters Among Us podcast. And I believe this story because the detail is, oof. But it's about a hunter named Mac. He's from Mississippi, I believe. I could be wrong about the state. He's a Southern guy, though. You can tell in his voice when he calls the story in. And he had to call it in 2 or 3 times because he kept having bad cell service. But his story didn't change any of the times. Mac was out hunting and he was in his deer blind, about 30 feet up in the tree, and he fell out of his deer blind. And while he was on the ground in agonizing pain, all of a sudden he was picked up by what he later described as a female Bigfoot, and the female Bigfoot nursed him with her breast, and he actually drank what was some of the most disgusting thing he ever put in his mouth, he said. And the whole time, he could hear in the background what sounded like a male Bigfoot conversing, telling the female, basically in Bigfoot language, we gotta get the fuck out of here before more humans show up. But the funny thing is, though, his family eventually found him. Mac got home safely hours later when it was dark out. But his back was broken, but it healed faster than any doctor could ever think possible. Which leads him to hypothesize, best word for that, that the Bigfoot milk actually made him heal faster than normal. And this is Monsters Among Us most famous call ever because Derek Hayes has played this on his show 5 or 6 times on different specials and whatnot. And you could hear him talk about it on my show, but when he was my guest. Derek Hayes, not Mac, that is. I wish I could get Mac on my show. But it's just, to me, that's the way he tells it. You have to listen to him tell it. You can't listen to me tell it and say it's not real. You have to listen to Mac tell it. I forget what episodes in it was. It was years ago that it was on, but it's an amazing story that everybody should hear because the way he tells it, you do not think he's lying. There's no hint of lying in his voice. He's telling the truth as far as he believes. And I've heard enough stories like this to know if people think they're lying or not, if people are lying or not, or at least in their minds.
That's crazy. So too bad he didn't, couldn't somehow have kept some sample of the milk for DNA testing or, something like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Just think how hairy those nipples are, though.
well, I mean, I've been with some women who were quite hairy.
Oh, you have not, no.
Wow, Zers. Well, we're gonna have to. We'll save the end for the end, but we gotta have a fun group exercise. It'll make us a stronger podcast.
Why is this scaring me? What is this?
I'm not taking my shirt off, Scott. Show how hairy my chest is.
Oh, I guarantee my chest's hairier. I am a hairy little motherfucker. I'll tell you what.
You orang pendek, you.
You should see my feet.
I'm good. I do not have a foot fetish. I don't know how they, I don't know how they
That's
do it in
what
Canada.
both of my teenage sons want to do. And I told them, like, dude, there are too many people making foot fetish videos. There's no way you're going to be able to make money at it. But they're convinced.
I mean,
There's weirdos out there for sure.
oh,
Yeah,
I
and there's
mean-
a million people taking pictures of their feet. The weird shit you're going to have to do with your feet nowadays to make money. My God damn.
I mean, it was a unique thing back when King of the Hill did an episode about it back in the early 2000s. But nowadays, foot fetishes are too common.
My wife and I actually worked for a dude who had a foot fetish. He never asked me or my wife, but he asked our friends that had told him about him, and they actually like fucking let him smell his feet and shit. He was
I
like,
mean, if
one
he's paying
day-
me,
The first day I worked for him, you know, I was right out of the carnival. I told him I was from the carnival, and he was like, "Oh man, the carnival would be cool. I like going down to Venice Beach and just staring at the people. When I was a kid, I used to stick my head by the gasoline and just smell on them fumes. It was a couple of years before somebody told me it was bad for me." I shit you not. That was like the first thing I'd ever said to this guy. He's my boss. Tried to pay us some radiator fluid and marijuana. But that's a story.
That's a story.
well, that's all I got, Scott. So the last bit of the show is on you.
Okay, so you guys had covered a couple of my stories. This one you had not. And this is a hoax. It's a pretty tragic fucking hoax. But this goes back to 2012 in Missoula, Montana. There was a man named Randy Tenley. He was 44 at the time. He used to go around in a ghillie suit and try to get people, like this was what he did for fun. He would try to get people to report him as a Bigfoot sighting. So then one day he tried doing the hoax on Highway 93 near Kalispell.
I know the story.
So he's standing in the road waiting for a car to pass so he could like run off into the woods and scare the driver. But then the motherfucker was hit by 2 cars.
He deserved it. He fucking deserved it. I feel no sympathy. He fucking deserved it. You try to fake this great creature.
Oh, he's
You
just
deserve to
having
die.
fun.
He's
Come
having-
on.
You deserve to die.
So the crazy thing is the first person that hit him was a 15-year-old girl, which I guess is legal in California. Like if you have your, or not California, in Montana, if you
Well,
have your
there's no-
learner's permit.
There's
you
nothing out there but
driving
fucking
out there.
cows. There's nothing out there but cows.
But then while he just got hit by a car and he's laying in the road, then he was hit by another 17-year-old girl, which is just proof that women shouldn't be able to drive. The Saudis
Oh.
have it right.
Oh,
As our
oh
viewers
no,
drop,
no, that is not the moral of that story.
as our viewers drop in half.
I'm thinking the moral of the story is the guy. with the
No, no.
Oh man,
No.
he
Here's the
got
moral.
hit, a big
Here-
dude in the middle of the road in a ghillie suit, hit by a woman, and then he's laying in the
Scott.
middle of the road with a ghillie suit, hit by another woman.
Scott,
You're
here's the
saying
moral.
the
Of the
Saudis might have some.
Scott, here's the moral of the story. They were illegal Canadian immigrants driving the cars.
Oh my God.
Well, like I was going with the whole Saudi thing, they have done scientific research that whenever women get into cars, they're typically going somewhere to shop and their brains swell. So
Oh my God.
Dude,
I don't, do you trust American science or Afghanistani science? It's up to you.
Well, as long as it's not Canadian science.
Okay, you guys. Scott, if I ever am driving and you're standing on the side of the road,
Yeah, bam. I know, you probably wouldn't even mean to do it. It would just happen on accident. Oh,
Gotta get to that shoe sale. Gotta get shopping.
Deborah, freaking called me a messenger. Something bad happened to Scott.
Yeah.
I kind of hit him in my car, and then I put it in reverse by accident and ran him over again.
like Jeepers Creepers style.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam. So the police did interview his friends, and the one friend, that's how they found out what he was doing. Like, he was just some jackass that got hit in a ghillie suit in the middle of the fucking road. But
He
when
deserved
they
it.
interviewed his friends, they told him that he used to, like, this was the first time he went on the road, but normally he would, like, you know, stand in a walkway or something and try to run off his Bigfoot or on the side of the road. But this time he actually tried to stop the car, and it didn't work out very well.
Well, karma's a bitch.
Oh, that's. I
And-
wonder what they put on his gravestone.
They put on.
Hopefully
They put.
fucking Bigfoot lives.
Yeah.
They put on his gravestone. Karma's a bitch, and she ran you over.
Oh, come on, dude. He's just like Les Stroud said. As long as people believe in Bigfoot, more people will go in the woods. Or some
Fuck that shit.
like
Bi-
that.
Bigfoot is real, and motherfuckers like him make it look bad.
Are you kidding? Have you watched the Les Stroud shit? That dude's like fucking balls.
No, the
deep
guy in the
into it.
costume. He's saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The guy in the costume. I don't know who the hell Les Straub is, but
That's funny. The next hoax I have, Deborah brought up, and it's sort of a similar thing. The same, you know, guys doing a prank. It's fun. But this was the one that Deborah was talking about in the Humboldt Times newspaper. And then that got picked up and it was thrown all through the country. So there were a group of loggers that started finding these Bigfoot tracks all around their like home base. You know, they'd go out logging and then they'd have to stay at this little cabin. They started finding these Bigfoot tracks everywhere. And then the researchers went down. Let me get this picture up. And they actually did casts. And one of them looks exactly like Anthony Fauci. It's fucking hilarious. Scott Humboldt 1. Okay, so this jackass went down and he cast all the fucking feet. And let me get to the next picture first. There's them doing science shit on these Bigfoot feet. So that was until 2002 when Ray Wallace had passed away and his family came out with some news. Old Ray was quite a trickster. One of his favorite tricks was sneaking up on the little cabin they were staying at, and he would put M80s in wet newspapers and throw them down the fucking chimney when everybody was sleeping, just to watch everybody freak the fuck out. This dude seemed like a really good guy. I like him. He's the same guy that would like pee in the dishes, you know? But after Ray passed, his family told the LA Times that those old Humboldt tracks they'd found back were actually just Ray stamping the ground all around the fucking area where his friends were staying, with a cast that he got one of his other friends to make out of Adler wood. And then like he would sit and instigate the Bigfoot shit coming in. So, you know, he would try to get all his friends scared and riled up and shit. But the family did want the people to know none of Ray's pranks were ever malicious. They said that they wanted people to remember Ray as a proof that God had a sense of humor. So we are dedicating this story, this podcast, to Ray Wallace. Thank you for your service, Ray.
Scott.
Come on, that's funny as shit, dude. You wouldn't do that to your friends?
He
No.
was dedicated to to messing with them. Good God, it's a lot of work
Yeah.
just to scare your friends.
No,
You've never peed in your friend's beer. Come on, say
No, oh,
no, that's just fucking
Oh,
disgusting.
God.
That's some trash shit. But
yeah,
I would-
you wait
no.
until they drink the can, and you're like,
No.
"Ah!"
no. See, in college, we used to put laxative in each other's beers, but
See,
Oh
you
my
could
God.
actually kill somebody with that, dude.
no, you only put the amount you're supposed to take in. Just makes them have a nice beer shit next morning. But or that night if you put in enough. But
No, it's funny when you get your friends to drink your pee.
guys are so weird, honestly.
no, but I mean,
Eh,
Scott,
a lot of the women were doing the same shit too.
No. The furthest I would take my friends back in the day is when they were drunk, passed out in bed. I would crawl into bed next to them in the morning and make them think that we slept together all night.
That's pretty funny.
Jesus.
I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he is an LA County Highway Patrol officer right now.
Oh, Buckle?
No, not John Buckles. He put a Piccolo Pete in our friend's pocket, lit it and put it in his pocket. And like all night they were fucking whining. I had to wake up and go to work, but then I had to drive him home the next day. I swear to God, it looked like this dude had a third testicle, just like fucking pants melted in his skin. Oh, yeah, we had some times.
No, I
Okay.
mean, I'll gladly go up and grab any guy's ass just to fuck with them when I'm walking by, like grab their ass and have them be like, "What the fuck?" But like, it's all fun and games, but just
Yeah, you gotta just pee in someone's beer. It's fun.
Boys. I don't
Dude,
know.
I'm
Boys.
I'm not peeing in anybody's shit because someone did to me, I might fucking slice their throat open.
Well, that's when fights happen. Come on now. And
Scott,
then you guys all laugh and have a good time. It's great.
I don't know that
Scott?
I'd laugh if somebody did that to me. I wouldn't be laughing.
Scott, I've never been in a fight in my life. You don't want to be the first one to start that.
You've
Oh,
never
well.
been in a fight, in your
Hey,
life?
Besides the little spars my brother used to have, no.
when we finally do our first paranormal investigation, Jeremy, you need to be on the lookout, my friend.
Yeah,
See,
I'm thinking I don't want to drink with you two. I'm like,
If-
holding my beer with my
I'll
hand
find a
the
drink.
whole time.
If
I'll
you
find a
place
drink
a
with.
beer
It's this
down-
motherfucker.
If you place a beer down, better to get a new one.
Yeah.
Just a little warning.
I'm gonna be walking around like this the whole fucking time and be like, I'm gonna feel like my fucking girl at a bar, walking around with
Right.
my fucking hand over my drink.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, well, Scott,
Okay, I'm on my next one. We're going.
Seriously, man.
Okay.
wife wants to go to bed and I'm in the bedroom. Come on.
I got two more stories and finishing it up. We got where is the okay.
Actually, you keep going. I'm gonna move rooms.
Okay, cool. Okay. I don't need to share sound. So this is the next one, and both of these newspaper articles happened in Canada. But it was the only thing I could find in the fuck is this doing here? Okay, there we go. So this was the only shit I could find on the Library of Congress for Sasquatch. When you try to type in Bigfoot, there's a lot of racist shit about Indian people. So I got kind of tired of looking through the racist shit about Indian people. Went to Sasquatch. I found two articles. So this one is about the Queen. Queen Elizabeth. So this newspaper article was written in 1959 by the Evening Star. And it goes on talking about Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip hearing a story while they were on vacation in a fishing cabin in British Columbia. And,
Philip, is he the pedophile?
they're all
No.
pedophiles.
Well, there you go. But Andrew, the son, is the,
Well,
the one that's been identified. I think you're right. They're all involved, but
I
whatever.
bet Harry's a little involved. Andrew was the one that was on Epstein.
Andrew's
Yeah.
been fingered. Yeah, he's been
There.
identified, so he's in real.
So he's hanging out in the Canadian wilderness right now.
Well, no, not Andrew, Philip. So this was Queen Elizabeth's husband.
Yeah, this was her husband, the queen, her husband.
So they were on vacation at a fishing cabin in British Columbia when they heard about the cousin of the great Tibetan abominable snowman. So a person relaying the story goes on to say, these haven't just been seen by Indians, but they've been seen by white people too. Still racist. Library of Congress, not my problem. Sorry.
Well, we all know how Canadians feel about natives.
I know those were racist. Sorry.
Deborah's like, I hate you. Bob.
And what were you saying? What was this about the queen?
Well, you guys still follow the queen. Come on now.
Well, not
Well, I guess
anymore.
she's dead now.
Yeah.
So it goes on to say that both the, I'm going to fuck this up, but the Chehalis and the Sanghees Indians of the area have many stories about this creature. Their lore says that the creature can take a bear's head off with one fucking blow, and when it hunts, it hypnotizes their victim. And I just had an argument with my middle son when we were recording these videos I was doing about a grizzly bear fighting a fucking gorilla. I think a gorilla would fuck the shit out of a grizzly bear.
Oh, that would be a good fight. I don't know. Grizzlies are flipping strong.
Grizzlies are mean, but fucking
they're
apes
big.
will rip your face off.
I
So
mean, yeah, I don't know. That'd be a crazy fight, actually.
I do think Bigfoot could definitely fuck up a grizzly bear. Probably used to it. But their lore goes on to say that the no, I'm sorry, I was reading the same line. Then it talks, the first thing this thing talks about, other than the queen and the prince, is the first reports of Sasquatch in the area came from a rail yard crew in 1884. So it does date back a lot farther in Canada than it does in America. But one of the crazier stories is the sworn affidavit that Jeremy was talking about by ex-logger Albert Ostman, who claimed that a Sasquatch kidnapped him 35 years prior to this article and tried to have him mate with his Bigfoot daughter. So he kidnapped Albert and tried to have him mate his fucking daughter.
Wouldn't that be disappointing for the daughter? So this little pasty white man guy, like, I don't know.
There was a sworn
Anyway.
affidavit. It could not be fake. Come on now. He swore to God. So the man was taken for a week, but he was able to get free. Just like Jeremy said, it wasn't chewing tobacco, though. It was snuff. And the Sasquatch tried to eat all the snuff. Have you ever? You've never even.
What
had
is
a
the
cigarette,
difference?
huh?
Snuff and chewing. What is that?
Snuff is the snortable tobacco.
Ew.
And
okay.
like we had gotten it a couple times. Like you put a little bit in your hand and you snort that shit, and woo, and it burns like fuck. If somebody tried to eat a whole can of that shit, it's gonna fuck you up. So,
Oh.
I mean, his story is looking kind of true there. But the article ends with a 17-year-old Native American girl who they didn't bother going into her story about, who was kidnapped and also managed to escape. But like I said, they didn't go into her story.
Oh, that's too bad.
But yeah, no, 2 articles in the Library of Congress, and one had to do with the Queen.
Jeez. who literally just heard a story. Like that's the whole point, and then she's the headline.
I
She heard a story.
I didn't know what to do with this. Like, do I get Reddit posts? Like, there's so much bullshit out there with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know there's some like real people who are, you know, actually believe in shit, but I think, and most of the TV shows, dude, these people seem like bullshit artists to the fullest. I don't buy into it. I don't know.
Well, that's like I was saying. So the one documentary, I mean, the one lady, I mean, I think she thought there was a Bigfoot husband. Like it was just nuts. But then there was some legit accounts, and I was like, okay, some people you believe, and then some people you're just like, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, and like you were saying, there are credible people, right? Like police, and just because you're
Yeah.
a cop doesn't mean you're a credible person. But
No, but when somebody's speaking and they're just kind of sticking to facts, and it's almost like they're describing an encounter with a bear or something, right? Like it's just kind of a factual, like that's believable, right? But then when you're,
yeah, like
talking about how Bigfoot brought you Valentine's and whatever, then okay, that's a
tried to
little
have you
weirder,
date with his daughter.
right?
But like in the same sense, like we had, I think there were like 3 cops when I did my story on the fucking frog man.
And they were lying, right? They're all a bunch of
Yeah, I think 2 of them, or maybe it was just the one who said he was lying at the end. So
yeah,
it's like,
and the others were covering him up or whatever, right?
yeah,
Point one. When you're
frog
talking
man
about
exists.
no, I'll possibly, but when you're
Oh.
talking about Bigfoot versus a bear, I mean bear versus a gorilla. There was this awesome show on Animal Planet like 20 years ago now, at least. Or actually maybe like 15, but they actually would put 2 real animals against each other and like simulate fights. And it was pretty cool. I don't know if they ever did a bear and a gorilla, because they usually only did animals that would be in the same habitats, but
That'd
That
be
was
a good
pretty-
fight though. Like that's two powerhouse. I think probably a gorilla would maybe win that, but I mean grizzlies, man.
Well,
And-
my son and I were actually fighting about this. Who do you think would win, Jeremy? A grizzly bear specifically, not like a Kodiak bear or a black bear, like a grizzly bear versus a gorilla.
gorillas, because they have thumbs.
Yeah, and their fucking torsos or their fucking arms are as big as my fucking body.
I mean, I could see a gorilla picking up a bear and body slamming him, but on point 2, you call it Bigfoot shit again, and I made to come to Utah and amass an army of Mormons to take you on. Point,
What do you mean Bigfoot shit? I didn't
I
say
heard-
anything negative about Bigfoot. Come on now.
you called it Bigfoot shit.
I'm telling you, I honestly do believe there is a chance that Bigfoot's out there. I just
And
don't buy most of the bullshit, which I think most of it is.
Well, there's anytime you have anything, and especially Bigfoot, so like everybody knows what Bigfoot is. So there's
And-
like
oh,
stores and movies and whatever. They merchandise it, right? Like
And Deborah, that reminds me of point 3.
Oh,
There is
you're in
there,
trouble too.
there is a phenomenon out there called brides of the woods. and
Why didn't you
and-
bring any of your Brides of the Woods stories out?
Yeah.
My wife was asking for it in the comments. Come on
The-
now.
we can't see the comments, but there is a movie by Bobcat Goldsmith, whatever the fuck his name is. He's a famous comedian, but he did a Blair Witch style Bigfoot movie, and I mean it's just it's about a couple going camping, and then once it gets dark and they're in
And
their
the
tent.
husband runs off,
No,
and suddenly
no,
the zipper
no.
unzips, and she's grabbed
And she meets a
firmly
real man.
but smooth,
no,
and she can feel his arms pulse.
no. They're in their tent at night, and all of a sudden something is pelting their tent during the night, and it's Bobcat Goldthwait, that's his name, but something is pelting their tent when it gets dark out, and they go outside to see what it is, stupidly. And all you see after that is all of a sudden a naked woman, or a topless woman at least, that's from what you see. And she's covered in dirt and grime and some blood. And because I mean,
Is
you're
this the
messing with
Bigfoot?
and then all of a sudden you see the husband dragged, beaten, and laying on the ground with a bloody head. And you see the wife, and you hear the wife screaming as she's carried into the woods.
And then she's like, "Oh my God, you are my protector and savior."
No.
And his big firm
And-
hands grab her strongly but gently.
And that's where the movie ends. You see, as you hear, as the camera's on the husband while he's on the ground bleeding unconscious, and you hear the wife screaming as she's dragged in the woods.
But in this scenario, Bigfoot does have a head of like Fabio locks, right? That is gently blowing in the wind.
You don't see the Bigfoot in this movie.
So
but-
here's the thing: if anybody out there, listeners, anybody, has stories of these brides of the woods that want to come and share your story with us, I would love to hear a first-hand account of this.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
that's-
we'll read them. Read them
that-
on the.
That sounds like a future episode right there, Deborah.
Right? I would love to have somebody come and give their first-hand accounts of this, even whatever kind of accounts. But yeah,
And let's not forget, there is a 12 book. Last time I heard about it, 12
Oh,
book.
bullshit. You own the whole series. You told
No.
us before.
I'd like to, but I don't because it's more money than I want to spend on 12 books. But there is a Bigfoot erotica series out there that is 12 books long about Bigfoots living with humans in the woods who have these women have been taken by Bigfoots and they like what Bigfoot offers because big feet equals something else.
and this is
Sucks.
Jeremy's, writing under a pen name. So make sure you purchase.
No, actually, I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up right now, so I can give you
Come
Come on, you know you've read it.
Oh, and apparently the author of Bigfoot Erotica won a Virginia congressional race.
Oh, that's great for Virginia.
But
Fucking America.
That's funny.
We got Bigfoot. We got fucking the wrestler Jesse, whatever the fuck his name, Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Governors. We got fucking Bigfoot erotica.
Okay,
And
but
we have Joe Biden.
listen to these titles that are on Amazon and are on Kindle Unlimited. Bent Over by Bigfoot, Bigfoot Bang Bang, Book 1.
Oh my god.
Surrendering to the Sasquatch, an erotic monster fantasy. And I'm sorry, the first one was by Maggie Lent. The second one was by Maddie McNeil. Seduced by Bigfoot and Ravaged by the Yeti. The secret adventures of
That's
something.
like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario there, huh? Seduced by Bigfoot.
Brood Maiden for
Ravaged
Bigfoot.
by the Yeti.
Brood Maiden for Bigfoot by Fanny Tucker. Broken In by Bigfoot by Jacqueline Cirque. Amazing Sex with Bigfoot by Olivia Anderson. Bigfoot Loves Sex, a Sasquatch erotic tale by J.C. Coppola.
That's like the best one right there. By who? Coppola?
Oh, no, Scott, this is the best one.
No. Who is Coppola?
No.
Was that the fucking dude who draws Batman? Was it
No.
Greg Coppola?
No, you're thinking of
Oh,
Francis Ford Coppola, the guy who wrote The Godfather.
No, I was thinking Greg Capullo, the Batman
But
artist.
This is the best one, Scott. Sasquatch Sex Student Part 1, Wet in the Woods by Aaron Charmgale. Dominated by Bigfoot by Christine Canavar. Alone with Bigfoot, Cryptid Romance by Sadie Meyer.
It was like the cleanest one. That was written by a Mormon woman.
Here you go. Here you go. This must be Canadian. Milked by Bigfoot by Laurel Green. In the Yeti's Cave, a huge-sized monster menage erotica by Deborah Carr.
Oh, my
is
gosh. Was that two?
No, that's by Victoria. That's by Victoria Sky. Bested by the Bigfoot, a Carolina Ford erotic adventure by Harley Jane Meadows. Mating with Monsters, Minotaur, Ogre, and Demon by Carrie Hines. Oh, here's one that I actually want to read. Bigfoot and the BBW, Ravaged by the Beast by Delilah Dark.
Which one of these have you read?
None of them.
Come on, dude.
Oh,
Come
no,
on. We don't buy that for a
no,
second.
I am not gonna lie. I've read my share of paranormal erotica, but it's usually dimensional shit with like tentacle monsters and shit like that.
Tentacle monsters.
Hey, multiple tentacles equals multiple pleasure, Scott.
Jesus.
Oh, here you go. Babes Love Bigfoot, a Big Hairy Bigfoot bundle by Summer O'Lee.
No, that was written by a man. Babes Love Bigfoot.
Here's one that's very simple. Bigfoot's Lover, Lots of Sex, Abduction by V. Casanova. Boned by Bigfoot by Indiana Bones. Sex in the Sequoias, a Bigfoot Romance Book 1 by Livia Nesbet. The Blizzard Creature Makes Me Melt, a monster romance by Mandy Spice. And the cover literally has a woman on all fours with a Yeti behind her.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here you go. Alone with a Female Bigfoot by Sadie Meyer.
Is this like a lesbian Bigfoot romance?
I don't know.
I think you should read that one first. Find out what's going on.
Captive on Bigfoot Island, an MMMF, which means male, 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 female monster erotica. So it's basically she's getting gangbanged by Bigfoots by Eden Norwood. Claimed by Bigfoot by Carmen Quick. Taken by the Bigfoot Clan, Monster Love Part 3 by Annalise Brody.
There's another gangbang.
God, one monster is just not enough.
No.
Let's see. Holly Jolly Monstrous and Holiday, a monster erotica collection by Eva Damone. And that's it. But
Oh, that was it.
Good grief, that's a lot.
Jesus Christ. You guys need to get out there and write more Bigfoot erotica because there is definitely not enough.
oh, trust me,
Jeremy just went through like 30 books. Not enough.
That's hilarious. Oh my.
trust me. I mean, I could write erotica, but I never just want to put the time in to do it.
Good luck, buddy.
Oh, I could write it. I mean,
it's a fucking job. Just
I've read
Really get a job.
erotica,
Scott.
Maybe that is his job.
Yeah.
I've read enough. I've read enough erotica in my life to write it, but
Alrighty.
Okay, I got one more story, but
still?
yeah, still. But I
thought we were done, or wouldn't have done all that, but okay.
I do have I did ask people if they believed in Bigfoot, and I tallied it up for you, buddy.
Oh yay.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Something like it could have existed.
That's right.
maybe.
I interviewed
don't
the
know.
Ninja Turtles.
I would say no. No.
Why not?
No.
I do not live in Bigfoot. No.
Maybe. Yeah, I think I do, yes.
There's got to be something to it. I wouldn't say I disbelieve in it, but some concrete
Nice scarf.
would be nice.
I've definitely
Okay.
seen things that make me believe there's something out there.
Okay.
Pause that
Same
shit.
here.
Pause that shit.
I'd say it could.
Okay, hold up. I gotta find what's going on.
One, you added the maybe counter too late.
No, I talked to these people and I knew I was gonna get that in comments. I talked to these people longer than what you're seeing.
Well, and two, nice scarf, buddy.
Hey, this guy's gonna watch our show, pal. I'm giving cards out. He was a nice young gentleman.
Well, with that scarf, I'm sure he gets all ladies.
Or whatever he wants to get. Okay, going back into it.
I
Well, that's
it
what he
could be
said.
possible that it's real.
No,
Not at all.
It's getting close,
no.
Jeremy.
I totally believe in Bigfoot. I mean, the proof is extensive.
I personally don't. I believe in evolution, and I think that it's possible that we could have seen something similar to that. But I mean, it's possible, absolutely. But I don't like have a full belief in it.
Oh, definitely. I've known somebody who's had some Bigfoot
5
experiences.
for yes, 6 for no, and 2 for maybe.
Well, that's where you give an yes in Utah.
Utah's a fucking Bigfoot hotspot, dude.
Go Utah. The one story I had in Utah, they basically said that Utah's not the terrain for Bigfoot.
You're
Like,
just
go-
jealous because ours have horns.
Go give me a picture of it, Scott, when you're fishing next time.
I actually did. Me and Deborah did that story. Like you didn't come on that one story, and when we did it, I talked about my bridge fucking experience. And I did listen first thing in the morning. I started listening to all the Bigfoot fucking calls. Do you have a fucking TV on or something?
Yeah, my wife's watching the stream.
So this is us?
No,
Well,
the
it
stream.
wasn't. It wasn't Bigfoot. It wasn't Bigfoot that I heard. I did confirm that.
What do you think it was then?
I have no fucking idea because I've listened to cougar calls, elk calls, mountain lion calls, deer calls. Like I don't know what the fuck it was, dude. But
Well-
like my son heard it, and it sounded like a goddamn demon, dude. Like,
Well, Mormons having premarital sex,
I don't think so. I don't think they go that hard.
but well, Scott, what are we doing next week?
I'm not done my stories yet, dude. I still have
Jesus, dude.
5 seconds left to figure that out. Okay, so this article came out in 1935 on Halloween Day.
Of course it did.
Yeah, buddy, by the Waterbury Democrat. So it starts.
Oh, it's by Democrats. Fuck them.
Well, come on. This was the Democrats back in the day. Oh, yeah, I guess they were for slavery and everything. Not much.
In 1920 something, they were for slavery.
Yeah, dude. Okay, what are we looking at here? Here we go. Halloween.
Here she going to bed.
Okay, so this is the Library of Congress. It starts off with settlers 50 miles away from Vancouver, where Deborah's from, describing hairy giants that were as
they-
agile as goats.
Scott, were they out in a boat?
Probably. Yeah, I'm from fucking Pennsylvania. I say that similarly. So the beginning of the article, it poses the question, are Sasquatches just the remnant of a lost race of wild men? And then the article claims that many people have seen 2 hairy creatures at the time, and they would howl like wolves 50 miles east of Vancouver. One report claims that Sasquatch leaped down a rocky hillside like a goat and then walked through a swampy marsh with ease, and then he got on a log and rode it across a fucking frozen glacier river, and then he climbed up a cliff face and disappeared into the woods. The next story comes from an Indian who claims he was fishing in his canoe when a large rock just missed his canoe. And at the top of the cliff, he saw a fucking Bigfoot stomping around, and he was gesturing and whatever the fuck. Then he went on to say that the creature had actually stole fish on his property twice that he had hung for later. And then it ends with the latest sightings by people in the area who say the creature is ferocious looking, 9 foot tall, covered in thick black hair from head to toe. But he avoids using the human paths. And he's supposed to be calm when they see him. At the time of this article, went on to say that Sasquatch had not molested any cows or people recently.
Well, wait a minute. One, the most important part of this article
Is
the
not
Bucks Hill-
molestating people.
the Bucks Hill Club is meeting tomorrow. Woohoo!
Oh shit, the first article, that was the, let me pull that back up. That was actually the start of food stamps. I forgot to put that in there.
You know, when they're Sasquatch, you gotta worry about food stamps, you know.
There we go.
But,
Yeah, so this was the start of food stamps right here.
Sure.
For surplus foods, the House Agriculture Committee yesterday approved a bill to establish a food stamp plan for distributing of surplus food to needy fucking people. I don't know.
Well, as someone who's on food stamps, I wholly support that. But
You're supposed to be getting your severance pay, buddy.
I was on food stamps when I was working because I didn't make enough to support a family of 4. But
Neither do I.
then apply, buddy. You'll get it. Everybody gets it in America. Everybody gets it in America, don't you know? Unlike the Holy Land of Canada, where they have free health insurance and all that shit.
Yeah.
I did get food stamps for 1 month, but you know, when I was 18, I needed the fucking Medi-Cal, and I went, and the first thing they told me is, do you want food stamps? I was like, no, dude, I just need health insurance. And they were like, but you're in the perfect age range to get food stamps, GI, all this shit. Like, they tried to push me into getting the shit.
You should have took it. It's free money.
No, it's not fucking free money because I'm paying that free money right now.
Yeah, I am too, but it's still free to me.
Yeah, we should burn down the government.
We
Deborah
should.
said that. She's in Canada.
I mean, we need a Trudeau down here.
You need what?
You better.
Did you just
better just shush your mouth, buddy. We need a Trudeau down here.
We can ship them to you gladly. Trust me.
No, we don't
We'll
want
ship
him.
them on out.
We'll put him back to Cuba where he belongs. I mean, he's a fucking resident. Come on now.
You know what? Back to Sasquatch though, because you accidentally said scat, and that made me think: why is there no, like, all of these cryptid things? Like, why is there no Bigfoot poo piles anywhere? Because that's one of the main, things you find. But you find the footprints, you find whatever. Why wouldn't there be any, scat?
I could see him burying it, but I did see videos where people were picking up shit in their hands and being like, "Look, it's fucking Bigfoot poop."
A good piece of board, right? For the bear and whatever, you should be able to identify it pretty easy.
Well, Deborah, that poses the question. Does a bear shit in the woods, and henceforth does a Bigfoot shit in the woods?
But a bear does shit in the woods.
It's
You can find bear scats when you're out in the woods. Why are you not letting good Bigfoot's poo?
Like, we know the digestive system of whatever the fuck the scientific name is for Bigfoot, and we know the digestive system for bear. Like, bears are carnivores. A Bigfoot would have more of a digestive system of ours. So maybe he just shits all over the place too. It's just crap that
they find all this shit in the woods in America, and they assume it's homeless people. What if it's Bigfoot?
That's a good point.
That's
Jeremy.
true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna agree
think
with
it's
you.
just maybe Bigfoot uses toilet paper and everything, and it just looks like some nasty person was out there.
I think
What-
Bigfoot's probably more civilized, though. He probably does bury his poop like an
Yeah.
honest human would, unlike
Right.
the homeless humans. That
I mean, or
shit all
what if he
over the
just
place.
what if he just knows where they're doing construction near the woods and he finds a porta potty?
Yeah, if I was Bigfoot, I'd use a porta potty.
Yeah.
I,
Or
I
maybe he
mean,
goes in the water. Maybe
It
gets
can't-
into the river.
oh, I mean, yeah.
Looting everything.
Well, no,
I
he's
think we
feeding.
need to exterminate these fucking Bigfoots.
No, don't encourage the Bigfoot hunters now.
This is the
But
guy who wants to pee in the beer, and you're worried about Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's funny when your friends drink pee. It's worse when I catch a fish next to Bigfoot poop.
well, Scott, he's feeding the lake monsters. That's all he's doing.
I don't want him feeding the lake monsters. I eat the
So
lake
funny.
monsters every once and again.
I love where these intellectual conversations go every
Well, me-
time.
I know.
me,
We should.
me, I mean, me and Scott are a couple cans in, and my cans are taller than his, so you know.
Yeah, I got a lot of cans over here, buddy. And I'm
I don't
know.
gaming a little bit.
Let's
Yeah,
measure
no,
his. ca-
what
let's,
we're
let's,
saying,
let's
is
measure his cans
Deborah's-
no longer.
Deborah's birthday
Is
is
in an
tomorrow,
hour.
and she wasn't pre-gaming.
Oh well.
No, I'm like behaving myself. I'm
What the
civilized
fuck,
over here.
dude? We're all supposed to be wasted. I thought that was the
Seriously, I advertise this podcast as three drunk people doing a podcast about paranormal
yeah,
stuff.
but then you say my wife won't let me drink
Well, luckily I
every
have
other
waiver.
episode. Come on now, just tell
Well-
her for the sake of the fucking
Well,
podcast.
Scott, I told her for the sake of the podcast, she has to let me drink on Sunday nights for our podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. We're all
Yeah,
going
thank
to
her.
drink.
Thank her from us. Yeah.
We're all going to drink only
said
on
thank you.
Sunday, except
thank
for
you.
me. I'm going to drink every day. But you guys
Well, you lucky
have
bastard.
to get wasted.
Okay.
I'm not getting wasted because I ain't trying to get the spins and end up in the toilet worshiping the porcelain goddess. But you know.
Yeah, learn to step outside in your backyard and puke like a man.
But then my dogs eat it. But then my dogs eat
And
it.
then you go back.
Then my dogs eat it. No.
Alrighty. What are we doing next week?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Now you know
Listen-
the pressure's on. You got to think.
Listeners, next week is a surprise topic.
Well, I'll come up with it. Just hold on here.
Scott's brain's rotating.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Next week's topic is on Hillary Clinton.
What?
Oh,
That
God.
means reptilians. Next
okay.
week is reptilians, my friends.
Yes. Next week.
Okay.
Next week.
I'm
Next
gonna
week is
regret this.
next week is reptilian / Hillary Clinton.
Hollywood, here we come.
Hill dog, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Hill dog. Coming for you. I'll call Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, that might be a good interview. Like if we could get her, she
If we
would
could.
admit to it.
I don't think she's doing anything. Besides,
Jeez.
Yeah, she's not sucking any more president's dicks.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean-
pretty
I'm
sure
sure
she's not
she's
coming on the
free
show
enough
now.
I mean, I think Obama may give her a call as the next Democratic president, but
No. When I was watching Alex Jones back in the day, Obama liked the young walnuts, but he didn't want them as brown. Just
oh,
saying. Yeah, that's what it is. Just like fucking leaders who molest children. We're gonna prove them. That's what
Oh.
we're doing next week. So you just find
oh,
fucking
So we're-
crazy leaders of the
Oh.
world.
so we're talking about Pizzagate next week. Yay! But
Is- Do you have a problem with that? Like just
oh, I love Pizzagate. I love Pizzagate.
yeah, no, that's this Pizzagate would be a great, but it's broader than that. So whatever you can find
Well, yeah,
about
Pizzagate's
the
like a 10.
leaders of our world.
Pizzagate's a 10
Okay,
minute.
this is
Pizza-
interesting. This is going off paranormal
So-
and into the real monsters.
Well, they
No.
worship the god Malik.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on now.
yeah, it's interesting. It's,
Mm. So I mean, Are we going into like JFK too, or no?
JFK was kind of a freak too. Come on now.
I mean, but are we talking like the grassy knoll and the bull that bends corners, or no?
I have no idea what that means with molesting children.
Well, you said
or eating people.
You said we're going into the leaders that
adrenochrome, fucking child sex trafficking, and shit like that.
Okay, listeners, we're going dark next week.
We're going dark.
We're going dark. Ooh. Yeah.
Well, that does it for this week, listeners. Be sure to check out Paranormal: The New Normal, where we talk about all these topics, but not while drunk and not in a weird way.
And oh shit, can't click it. We gotta remember.
Happy birthday to Deborah.
Shit.
You should have sung on while we were live. Come on.
We're still live.
Oh, okay. I want to hear it. Let's go.
Happy birthday. Come on, Jeremy.
No.
1, 2,
Scott,
3.
Scott, no. If you sing more than 30 seconds of it, they will take us off the air because it's a trademark song.
Okay, we'll have to do a new song. Birthday happy. Deborah's getting older.
No. Holy shit, you're getting old.
Happy space birthday. Do they really kick you off for a fucking
happy birthday? No, I'm sure not.
No. It's a trademark song from other podcasts. I've been told it's Ooh, fuck.
So do it. So do it backwards. Do it backwards, and we'll hear the devil message in it.
Jeremy's gonna do it backwards right now.
I Scott, take us off live. My wife's in all fours. I gotta go.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, what are you doing for your birthday?
Hopefully, sitting my wife soon.
She was asking me. That's funny.
Well, have a good birthday. I'll get off.
Well, thank you very much. I shall.
Hopefully, some good-looking Pierce Brosnan looking man taking you out to dinner.
Maybe I'll wander around in the woods and see if I can become one of those.
You can write your own Bigfoots.
Listeners, if Deborah's not here next week, it means she became a bride of the woods.
How the hell do I turn this off?
Scott,
okay, we're off the live stream.
You gotta write sticky notes if you're gonna during this shit.
This is terrible.
Okay, we're still recording, but I'll edit that out. Yeah.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
That's hilarious.
That was
all
fun.
Right. That was
Bigfoot.
Fun. That was fun.
Was all over the place, you guys. Oh my god.
I know that was fun and way too long.
I think people like that more.
I did, but they're not gonna sit through 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
Was it 2 hours?
Yeah, it is been 2 hours.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
It's 11 o'clock here, so yeah.
You should move somewhere where the time's shorter, dude.
Well, if you didn't go through all the Bigfoot porn names, that would have cut some time.
That was like 5 minutes tops.
Yeah, my show was like fucking 15 minutes. Come on.
But I mean, all right. Well, I mean, my kids are on February vacation starting tomorrow, so I don't care. But I'm unemployed.
February vacation.
I don't know, some Massachusetts bullshit. We didn't have that when I was a kid. But you want to
have Family Day? It's a stat holiday tomorrow.
We don't want to know about the weird shit Canada does.
You have a holiday tomorrow?
Whatever, it's a stat holiday. Screw you guys. I don't go to work.
Yeah, my wife doesn't have to work because it's President's Day.
Yeah, no, it's Family Day for us. But I actually do have to work. I had most of that.
I gotta work too.
Whatever.
I don't, because I'm unemployed.
Enjoy it, dude. That's the one thing I will say. Like, I've been there. Enjoy the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Dude, I was
you will get a job.
Hey, you guys, if you guys either one or if you team up, if you guys are gonna do that, I'll promote the hell out of you because I have 2,000 people on my Facebook, I think, some 2,600 or something like that. But it's mostly business people and writers and people like that.
The video editing?
Yeah, if you guys want to legit do some marketing and stuff for other people, like for whoever, I can put something together, put a link.
Scott, you do the video editing. I'll do the podcast editing.
Okay, what do you edit your podcasts in now?
Anchor.
Dude, what do you do if they fucking record on Audacity?
Then
Like,
fuck
Anchor's
them.
a shitty editor. You need to get yourself some Audacity, and then you can
Fuck
edit well.
Audacity. Fuck Audacity. I use StreamYard. I use StreamYard to Anchor. So
Yeah, but like I've been on Anchor's editor. It's very fucking like rudimentary.
yeah, it's easy. You fucking cut and snip when you need to.
No, it's like Bigfoot. We should be recording this. That would have been fun.
It is recording still.
Oh yeah, I guess it's recording still.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the damn recording. I gotta go smoke a cigarette and go to bed.
I don't know how to stop the recording. I'm gonna cut this out. We're not live. So.
Well, obviously, but Jesus. Have you released the podcast episodes lately even?
Yeah. They're all up, not on Spotify. Like I was the only one listening to. I'll get them. I have them all saved.
Well, get them out there. I'll fucking start sharing them.
Okay, I'll get them all out there.
Any day one of my podcasts isn't releasing, which is 4 days of the week, I'll fucking put one of ours out and I'll have shit of it.
Hey, I actually did have, like, do you guys want any questions asked by 10 random people?
I mean,
is there something that you would like to know the answer to from 10 random people?
Not unless it's about our show. I mean, my show is not topic oriented, it's guest oriented, so.
Well, like you do have topics. The first episode I listened to was a topic thing. Like,
well, I mean, but it's based on what the guest does. It's all about the guest. It's not about me or about the topic.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, I've had Apple reviews where like my guests have become listeners because I made it all about them, and because it's all about the guests, it's not about me.
I forgot to tell you guys, we had 2 comments last week. One was an advertisement to watch their BitChute show. And the next one, the guy called us idiots.
Seriously.
What the fuck were we talking about last week even? It was Deborah's topic, right?
No, it was an older video. I don't remember what fucking...
We got called idiots? Well, screw him. What does he know?
No, we're going to save all these negative reviews and we're going to do a whole episode on people talking shit to us. It'll be great.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
where like when you see celebrities and they have to read the shitty comments about themselves or whatever, we'll do that.
I actually have a fan on my YouTube. I don't know if it's he or she, but they straight up said like, I love your stuff, and I wish, like, they were all pissed like this one interview I had didn't fall through because the guest, I couldn't find them on Matchmaker anymore. Like, I was trying to find them on Matchmaker.fm and I couldn't even find them anymore. I was like, what the fuck? Like, they disappeared. And I think she wanted to talk about like how her dead husband made her reconnect with Jesus or some shit. And I was like, I can make an episode out of that.
Huh.
Hey, religious episodes pay off in the end. I may sit there as agnostic and laugh inside it all, but it pays off in the end.
I would like to do that. If you guys want to do that, I've been wanting to do this. I tried this on my yurt podcast that I did. I would like to get a Mormon, a Catholic, and a Muslim on the show so they can all preach.
What are Jews and Christians to you? Nothing?
No, I don't. Fuck Israel.
But
what about Scientologists? Let's get some of them on.
People. Fucking poor Palestinians.
What about Scientologists? Let's not forget them. They're interesting.
Please. Let's forget them. Let's forget them. But
well, if Deborah can get Tom Cruise on,
there we go. Done.
you know who we actually could reach out to and possibly get? Leah Remini.
Because she does a lot of talking about this stuff. Yeah.
That was the lady that like fell out of the Scientology.
Yeah. From King Queens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember her.
But before I sign off this, because I got to go to bed soon. because my kids and my
Oh,
dogs.
give me a break. You just
My kid-
told us what your night looks like, buddy.
No, my
I
wife
gotta
was
go
just
to bed.
well, technically I do, but my wife was just stretching. But when I said that, she looked at
My
me like she
wife
wanted to kill me.
stretches like that.
Oh no! When I said that, she looked at me like she wanted to kill me and cut my head off and other parts of my body. But before I sign off, I am doing on my show. We are doing a serial killers bracket this Saturday coming up.
Ooh, and when is it? I would totally do that.
This Saturday coming up.
Oh, okay.
Are you working or no?
Well, wait. So what time are you doing it at?
Unknown yet.
Okay, I want to do that one. I would love to do that.
Are you working or no?
Well, not so far.
All right. Well, I will. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna. Well, you're not in the group chat, are you? I'll have to add you to the group chat because one of the other people in the group chat wants to do it too. So far, one has her own shit going on that day, so she can't. And Scott, you don't want to be in it?
If it's late at night and I can, or not late at night, but like if it's after 6, I'll get drunk and do it. But you're gonna have to explain I don't like serial killers, dude.
Well, if you don't like serial killers, then don't do it. That's fine. I'm
not a fan.
I already got 1, 2. I already got 2 definites and possibly 2 maybes. So
I'll watch. I'm not if you need someone, I'll come in there drunk if it's later, but I don't like serial killers.
It's just I brought it up on one of our past podcasts, and Tori from Be Afraid of the Dark podcast was all for it. Chancey's all for it. So, and I mean, I had people try to tell me like that's morbid. You're basically martyring serial killers. I'm like, no, society has been martyring serial killers for the last 20 years.
And not even.
Ben
I mean,
Shapiro doesn't.
What?
Ben Shapiro doesn't.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's a political. You don't know who Ben Shapiro is? He's very right wing.
I don't watch the news. I don't give a fuck about politics. Oh, none of that. I don't do any of that.
I always
But serial killers are interesting because their psychology behind human behavior is fascinating.
And trust me, I have notes for every serial killer with the countries they're active in, the years they're active, the confirmed kills, the estimated kills, and then just basic notes on them. But so I will be doing an intro just like I did for Urban Legends for every serial killer. But
dude, you're forgetting that there are psychological studies of people who write Bigfoot smut.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's the top 36 serial killers based on confirmed kills.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw you guys arguing about it. I'm like, if you need somebody, I can make Saturday work. But other than that, I'm not a huge serial killer.
It's all good. I get it. I mean, I tried getting my 2 friends who do a true crime like unsolved case podcast on it, but one of them was like, "That's morbid," and the other one was like, "I don't know if that's a good look for our podcast to do a serial killer bracket."
No, it's fucking weird, right? It's like some fucking trans.
I mean,
weird
it's
shit.
It's serial kill. It's 90% serial killers I never heard of. That's why I want to do it. And
I just think it's interesting to me. It's like
yeah, I mean, serial killers do fascinate me to some degree. I'm not obsessed with them. I don't watch true crime docs and listen to true crime podcasts every day, but I do. I don't, dude. I don't listen to podcasts at all anymore. Since I was a manager and I was working from home, I completely stopped listening to podcasts.
I don't even listen to ours.
Well, I mean, I definitely don't listen to anything I'm on because I was there. Why would I have to fucking listen to it?
Right.
Well, no, you remember shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
I never
remember what you said when you listen to it again.
I do. No, I remember everything I said.
I don't
never get
remember what I say. Like,
Scott,
I don't remember that.
I have never been that drunk on our podcast where I don't remember shit.
I've
Like-
only been once. One time I was like, oh, I don't even.
Yeah,
like,
and you need to
I
do it
just-
again. And Jeremy
No.
needs to do it again.
I think I
Next
just
week
giggled the whole time.
We're talking about Hillary Clinton, and
Oh,
we're
no.
going to be blasted. I'm
No.
telling you, it's gonna be fun.
I'll drink for it, but I'm gonna be not drunk because it's.
No.
I have
You
it-
got to be
Scott,
wasted talking about
you gotta
That's when-
understand.
eating
That's when we could get
babies
kicked
and-
off of a lot of places, I think. if
Scott,
we- that
Not
gets
got-
out of
BitChute.
control.
Not
You got-
BitChute, where our fan
you-
base is.
You gotta understand, Scott. I advertise this podcast on a lot of guest appearances I do, and I can't be shit faced making an ass of myself while I'm on this podcast.
Why?
I can be funny, I can be drinking,
Yeah.
but I cannot be shit faced. That's two different levels, and I'm advertising all my podcasts in these podcasts, not just this one. So I gotta be level.
I am always shit faced. The S
We're professionals
on my
here.
arm there, that was for our
Well-
band, shit faced scum
Oh,
fuck.
All right, gentlemen
Oh.
and lady.
All right.
Gentlemen and
Oh,
ladies.
speaking of which,
Happy birthday, Deborah.
yes,
Is
that's
this your
Thank
birthday
you.
yet? No,
speaking of
not
which,
even
I'm doing
close.
on my music show a week from today. We are doing a Chuck Berry bracket. I don't know if either of you are Chuck Berry fans, but
Ooh, might go for that one. Not the serial killers though.
you serious?
Yeah, let's do that
right.
shit.
All right, we might. I'm thinking that's gonna be Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern.
5 o'clock. That's before our show. I can get drunk. That'll be good.
All right, I'm thinking 5 o'clock Eastern. I'm not positive on that time yet, but I'm thinking that because I got my co-host is on another show before that, but I'm thinking 5 o'clock Eastern for that one. But I'll send I'm gonna send the playlist out to a couple people in the next couple and tomorrow. So
Well, send
I'll
the
send.
playlist to me and I'll listen to it at work.
All right. I mean, it's all Chuck Berry, so it's easy. But so Scott, you can be at work and sing about your ding-a-ling. But
Sing about my ding-a-ling.
But-
Ding-a-ling.
all right, have a good night, guys. I'll talk to
All
you
right.
next week.
Have fun.
It was a fun
Bye.
episode. I enjoyed tonight.
Oh, that was a good episode. I mean, people are gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna share the shit out of it tomorrow. But yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. See you guys tomorrow. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
have a happy birthday.
I will. Thank you.
All right.